Dāna, or offering, is one of the signature of Theravada Buddhist culture in the world. It is usually conducted as a ceremony or an occasion when people meet one or some monks on the way of Bindabata, means going for alms. The Buddha encouraged this practice as a way of right livelihood for clergy, as well as gaining merits for lay people who do the offering. As Buddhism has been spread throughout the world, this activity will differ due to the local culture where it comes. Hence, there will be some conflicts between the original text and reality. However, we can still find the original Dāna ceremony in Sri Lanka, one of the earliest Buddhist citadels in the world, to experience and understand completely what have been written in the Sutta and the Vinaya Pitaka. Buddhism was transmitted to Sri Lanka by the most venerable Mahinda Thero around the 3rd century BC and got the great support for the king of Ceylon, Devanampiya. Later on, there was a remarkable event of commentary composition for the original Buddhist text and some other literary works by the most venerable Buddhaghosa Thero around the 5th century CE. Although the country has undergone every up and down situations, but Buddhism is always maintained as the main religion of the country. Nowadays, Buddhism is still a spiritual refuge for most people of Sri Lanka. There are many spiritual interactions between monks and the lay people, and one of them is Dāna, or offering ceremony. It is generally known as Sangika Dāna, meaning the alms given to the community of monks. This activity helps maintain the relationship between clergy and lay people. It is considered that lay people offer requisites to the body and clergy offer food for the mind. This ceremony is usually performed on important occasions, in the same way as the Pirith chanting ceremony, associated with such events as housewarming, setting out on a long journey, a marriage, birth or death anniversaries, and so forth. At least 4 monks who have obtained higher ordination, Upasambhada, must participate for the Dāna to become valid as a full-fledged Sangika Dāna. Such Dānas were held even during the time of the Buddha himself participating in very many of them. Among many items of offering that Dāna, or the act of generosity, could include, food is usually regarded as the most important, and the formal meal offering accordingly is done with much ceremony and ritual. This activity can be held at the temple where they worship, but usually it will be occurred at lay people's home. The monks are conducted from the temple in procession with traditional drumming. A layman leads the procession with a relic casket, Dhatu Karandua, representing the Buddha, borne on his head under an umbrella or a canopy. As the monks step into the house, one person washes their feet, while another washes them. The monks are then conducted to the orances against the wall. As the relic casket approach the particular household, they are received by the host. A senior monk administers the 3 refuges and the 5 precepts to the assembled gathering, as this has become the established custom with which any Buddhist function commences. After he has given a short address on the significance of the occasion, the food is formally presented by getting the chef householder to repeat the Pali statement, Imang Bhikkhaṃ Savarikkarang Sathavarikkarang Bhikkhu Sanghassa Dema, means these alms, along with other requisites, we offer to the whole community of monks. Imang Bhikkhaṃ Savarikkarang Sathavarikkarang Bhikkhu Sanghassa Dema Ichitang Patitang Tuyang Bhikkhuneva Samijjatu Sabbe Purentu Citta Sankappa Sando Vannagasi Sampatti Sabga Sampatti Mevaca Ato Nibbana Sampatti Minate Samijjatu Tullu Asinggi Amsi Patipatti Pujawan Pilinimata Yogan Viyarutui. Next, the food is served. Before serving the monks, alms are first offered to the Buddha in a separate bowl and are placed on a separate table or shrine on which the relic casket has been set. The lady who carries the white plate, she is collecting given food from the monks for the pets and other animals. The daily food in Sri Lanka, as well as India, are rice and curry. Once you are here, you will understand deeply the Sekhiya number 29. Samasubakang Pindapatang Patika Samiti Sikha Karaniya means we have to receive rice and curry evenly so that we can easily make a lump of rice, because traditionally we will eat by hand. The dessert marks that the meal is finished. Once the monks have finished eating, which should be before noon, the other requisites, parikkara, referred to in the statement quoted, are also offered. The most important item among this offering is what is traditionally known as the 8 monastic requisites, attaparikkara, the alms bowl, 3 robes, belt, razor, water strainer, and sewing needle. This offering is regarded as especially meritorious, as it is an expensive item, therefore difficult to offer to all the monks. Generally, 1 attaparikkara is offered to the chief monk, and other items such as books, towels, pillowcase, umbrellas, etc. are presented to the other monks. Nowadays, a little money is also offered to the monk for transportation and other utilities.
Enak katti na yun ganno katti podi wala ko ganno kaso din ganno pulo hindi katti
Once this is over, another monk administers what is called Punya or Thanksgiving, wherein all those who were connected with the ceremony are requested to partake of the merits, punya, for their future good. The participants are also called upon to transfer the merits they have thus acquired for the well-being of their dead kinsmen and friends, as well as for the sustenance of beings in the Deva worlds, i.e., the deities, who are expected to protect the donors out of gratitude. The relit casket and the monks are conducted back to the temple in the same manner as they were brought, and the proceedings are concluded. People can choose to do the Dāna ceremony at the temple where they worship. The proceedings are basically the same. Now, this is a very signature of Sri Lanka at the end of ceremony, tying Pirith string. So, what is the meaning of Dāna and the Pirith string? Why have Sri Lankan people kept doing it for more than 2,000 years?
When we talk about Dāna, it is the tradition of Buddhist teaching. Buddha has mentioned about Dāna in various books in Tripitaka in Buddhism. Dāna means generosity. Dāna is the first step to become Buddha. It is mentioned in Dasaparamita, 10 perfection. First perfection is Dāna, generosity. Why Buddha giving priority for Dāna? It is caused to discard or destroy the defilements. Defilements means lobha, dosa, moha. Lobha is not giving anything, and ignorance and angry. Those are called defilements. When we give in Dāna, we have to control those defilements. One who have lobha cannot give Dāna. Therefore, Buddha has mentioned you should have in your mind alobha, adosa, amoha. It means generosity, kindfulness, and intelligence or wisdom. Those three aspects should be inherited in our mind to give Dāna. The important thing is we should have pure mind when we give in Dāna. If our mind is impure or full of defilements, we can't give Dāna. And Buddha has mentioned what we have gained from Dāna, but recipient never expect in returns. Buddha has mentioned Dānaṁ kalu sabhavena sagga mansa bhota. When we give in Dāna, naturally we can gain a luxurious life in this very life and also in our next life. We can be born in the heaven. We can be born as a human being because of Dāna. However, we giving Dāna, we can attain Nibbana also. How to attain Nibbana? By giving Dāna. If we give Dāna, we would have to forget what we have given Dāna. Or it means we have to given up the relation of Dāna materials. We give in Dāna by hand. Buddha has mentioned clearly that we should give Dāna not only by hand, by mind also. We have attraction or we have relation, what we give in Dāna. It is about materials. One who give Dāna, it is over. We no need to think about over and over. It is finished. Tanhakkayo sabba dukkhancināti. We have to control our craving. We should cut off. It means we giving Dāna with pure mind. It is way to Nibbana. And we Buddhist people always given Dāna to transfer merits our past ones who have already died. Sometimes our past ones, they need merits to have a good life in their samsara. Therefore, many Buddhists practice Dāna to transfer merits to their relatives who are already died. It is the tradition in our Buddhist. Therefore, Dāna is benefited for ourselves, also our past ones. Therefore, Buddha always praise Dāna is good activities one should practice in this very life, and then your life will be cured, will be happy, and also will be long life. Therefore, everyone should practice Dāna in day-to-day life. Pirith chanting is a customary tradition in Buddhist culture. Actually, it is not Buddhism. It is coming as a cultural tool in the Buddhist tradition. We Buddhists always chanting Pirith to have blessings. Parithang means protection. Parisamantato tāyati rakkatīti parithang. Parithang means you are protected by all aspects. Therefore, Buddhists are very, very fond of having blessing through Pirith chanting. Normally, chanting Pirith, we have some customs related to that Pirith chanting. We should have a pot of water, and we should have a white thread, and it's very important in Pirith chanting. We chanting Pirith, it is word of the Buddha. Pirith is Buddha discourses, sutras. Those sutras are said to be very powerful, full of blessings. Therefore, various occasions we are chanting Pirith. It is mentioned in Buddhist history also. There was a Pirith in Visala city in India at the time of the Buddha. Then the Visala city people invited to Buddha to come and blessing them. They are suffering from starvation. They are suffering from famine. Then the Buddha, with full of kindfulness, went there and chanted Ratana Sutra. Having a pot of water on his hand, he chanted Ratana Sutra. After finished chanted Ratana Sutra, he gave that pot of water to Anandathero and asked him to shower that water in the city. Then the Anandathero showered those water pots around the city, and then famine finished and raining began. Therefore, we believe that when we have a troublesome time or period in country as a whole, in our life and in a village, we all monks gathered and chanting Pirith. Therefore, why we use pot of water to spread on ground, on premises, in a house to protect the house? Why we use white thread? It is for the protection. When we chanting Pirith, we hold a white thread. Another corner given to the listeners. We chanting Pirith with pure mind. Our mind is full of undefilements. We don't have defilements when we chanting Pirith. It is a very strong, powerful mind. Therefore, we believe our nerves touch the thread, and other corner is holding by the listeners. Therefore, our pure mind and our powerfulness go through the thread to the listeners. We believe that through the thread, then their mind will be cured and their body will be strong and cured, no harm. Therefore, after finishing chanting, we break the thread and tie it on the hand of listeners. It will be protection, and they also strongly believe that